Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The threefold training of Sila, Samadhi and Panya is one of the most frequent ways of summarizing the Buddha's teaching. In the Chula Vedala Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, the Arahat Dhamma groups the entire Noble Eightfold Path under this rubric. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood come under Sila. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration under Samadhi. And right view and right intention under Panya. The foremost of the Buddha's disciples with regard to desiring training was Venerable Rahula, the Buddha's son. It was said that in the morning he would take a fistful of sand and make the wish that he might receive instructions from the senior monks as numerous as those grains of sand. Perhaps because he received an unusually large number of teachings in his lifetime, we have a record of Venerable Rahula's spiritual development from childhood until his attainment of full awakening. The Buddha-to-be went forth on the night of Rahula's birth and did not lay eyes on him for nearly 7 years. During his first wave of teaching after his awakening under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha received an invitation to his hometown of Kapilavatthu. Among the numerous events that occurred during that visit was the going forth of Rahula into the homeless life. His mother, who in the Vinaya was referred to merely as Rahula's mother, but is elsewhere identified as Yasodhara and by several other names, told her son to go to his father and request his inheritance. Upon hearing this request, the Buddha ordained him as a novice, the minimum age for higher ordination being 20. According to the Anguttara Nikaya commentary, far in the past, during the era of Padumuttara Buddha, Rahula was a Naga named Patavindara. On the urging of King Sakka, Patavindara invited the Buddha and his retinue to his home for a meal. Seated next to Padumuttara Buddha that day was his son, the Arahant monk Uparevata. Patavindara was captivated by the sight of Venerable Uparevata, and he made the aspiration to, at some time in the future, be born as the son of a Buddha-to-be. After fulfilling the conditions for this over the course of many, many lifetimes, he reaped the result in his final life. It is in this sense that his inheritance was the going forth and continued guidance of the Buddha. It is said that the Buddha treated Rahula in no way differently from the other monks. We can infer, then, that the Buddha used his supernatural ability of understanding the spiritual capacity of beings in order to instruct Venerable Rahula. 3 suttas in particular illustrate Rahula's progressive training over the course of a dozen or so years. They are all recorded in the Majjhima Nikaya. The first is an admonition to always reflect on the moral consequences of one's actions. The second is a set of meditation instructions on a number of objects that can be used to develop the mind. The third gives instructions on how to develop wisdom to the highest extent in order to put an end to all suffering, which Venerable Rahula was able to accomplish shortly thereafter. Over the next few talks, we will examine these suttas and attempt to place them in the larger scheme of the Buddha's teaching. First, though, let's listen to the advice that the Buddha frequently gave to Rahula over the course of his training. It is recorded in the Sutta Nipata of the Khuddaka Nikaya and translated to English by Venerable Ajahn Thanissaro. Abandoning the 5 strings of sensuality, endearing, charming, going forth from home through conviction, be one who puts an end to suffering and stress. Cultivate admirable friends, and an isolated dwelling, secluded, with next to no noise. No moderation in eating, robe, alms food, requisites, dwellings. Don't create craving for these. Don't be one who returns to the world. Restrained in the patimokkha and the 5 faculties, have mindfulness immersed in the body. Be one who's cultivated disenchantment. Avoid the theme of beauty connected with passion. Develop the mind in the unattractive. gathered into one, well-centered, develop the themeless. Give up obsession with conceit. Then, from having broken through conceit, you will go about stilled. In this way, the Blessed One often instructed Venerable Rahula with these verses. So with that, I wish that all of you will be happy, healthy, and content, and swiftly attain the peace of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.